Morning, everybody. You might be able to still hear the trash people. It's trash day. So I just want to hop on here this morning, and I say that every morning, but I haven't really introduced myself to you all. So I was gonna just kind of give you a little bit about me, who I am, and all that. So my name's Chasity. I'm from northern Kentucky. Originally, I grew up in a small town called Sanders. Just off the top of my head, population maybe a few hundred people, if that. So I never really lived anywhere else other than Sanders until I got a little older. For like a short time, like maybe a couple months, I lived closer to like the Cincinnati area for college. I ended up moving back home, commuting more from home to college that way. Then when I met Trey, I moved in with him over in Milton, and then we finally decided to settle in Carrollton, which is probably the biggest mistake ever. But growing up, I was just kind of always outside doing things. I grew up in a time where the internet was dial-up. You still can't really get internet service out at my parents' house. They still live out there. So we had one computer. It was a desktop computer. We didn't have laptops. We didn't have tablets. I didn't have a cell phone of my own until 9th grade. So whenever I wanted to call my friends, I used the house phone. We'd three-way all the time, do all that. It was all fun. Whenever I wanted to hang out with my friends, I would just walk downtown, hang out with them for a little while until it was time for street lights to come on. As soon as they came on, I had to go straight home. If I wasn't home by then, I was in trouble. Yeah, so it was, we just hung out all downtown, and I say downtown, but it was just like across the railroad tracks for me. It was like all maybe 10 of us that hung out. We would play basketball, a little bit of football, baseball. We'd ride our bikes. There was a creek. We would hang out down there. We would just walk around town. Basically, that's all we did all day long. And then when it was time for our parents to come home, we would all run home real quick and make it look like we had been home all day, so we could say, oh, well, I'm gonna go downtown, I haven't seen them, and then, so I guess you could say we snuck out first thing in the morning. It was early, probably a little earlier than what it is now. It's a little bit after 8 this morning, so we would all get up, real early, go outside and play. And then all of that. I didn't grow up on a farm, but some people in the family did have a farm, so we would kind of go and visit them every now and again, which was fun, amazingly fun. Yeah, and then grew up. When I moved to Milton with Trey, when I first met Trey, I met him through mutual friends. He just messaged me one day on Facebook, didn't know who he was. I said, leave me alone, basically. Told him to go away, leave me alone, didn't want to have anything to do with him. And my friend who knew him encouraged me to just meet him, so I did. First time I met him. He worked at night shift, so we were gonna meet up after he had got off work around, it was like, I don't know, 11 o'clock at night, which I go to bed at like 8, and if I'm not in bed by 8, I am falling asleep. Like, I will fall asleep by 10. So I ended up falling asleep on him, and he didn't know what happened until the next day. So we ended up trying to hang out, meet again, and so I ended up making an alarm that next night, and we ended up hanging out and hit it off, and here we are about 7.5 years later, still together, still putting up with each other. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, just got married in 2018, September 2, so about 1.5 years ago, got married, finally. That was a forever and a day thing. Yeah, his family, some of his family has a farm, so we go over and visit that a lot, and we just, that's kind of like our lifestyle, that's what we want, and for whatever reason we decided to buy a house in Carrollton. I'd never lived in town before. I'm not a big fan of having my neighbors on top of me. I hate it. I don't like standing in my house and looking out a window and the neighbor standing in their house looking through their window, and I'm not a fan of it. I just don't like it. I never experienced that, and then when I moved to town it was like that, and then you've got people walking all up in your yard all hours of the time, which led us to get cameras, which was also another reason for that. We have our own business, so we wanted to have cameras for all of that, and it's just like, it's like they wait till we leave and then they come up in everything, and I'm not a fan of it. I don't like it. I like my privacy. So then I mentioned we have our own business, which was just, it started off as a blog that I did just to kind of like journal, I guess you say, online, and it started to become a little expensive. It was about $1,000 a year just to have that, because you have to buy the website, you have to have a hosting, and you have to have security features, and you have to have a domain, and it all ended up being about $1,000 a year. So we were trying to look at how we could, monetize all of that. So I got into affiliate programs, so I am part of the Amazon affiliate program. So if you ever notice any Amazon links in any of my descriptions, or on Facebook, or on the blog, if you click on them and purchase it through that link, then I make a percentage off of that. It's not no big amount. It kind of depends on the price of the product and things like that. It's usually just like a few pennies to the dollar or something. I am also a brand ambassador for Madeira Outdoor, which if you ever see me sitting in a hammock or talking about a hammock, that is the company Madeira Outdoor. They're awesome. Every time you purchase a hammock, they plant 2 trees, and they plant them in different places around the world where it's kind of poverty, like third world country kind of things, and they use that too. They don't just plant the tree, they plant the tree and then they help educate the locals around it to how to farm it and harvest it, and continue that process on, and how to make money from it, and once they've kind of established that there, then they move on to somewhere else and do it. So for every hammock they plant 2 trees, and then they also sell other things like sleeping bags and other like outdoorsy kind of stuff, and depending on what the purchase is, then it's either a 1 tree kind of thing or a 2 tree, and since I'm a brand ambassador, I get a discount, and then with that I get a link. So if I share that link and somebody purchases something through it, then I get a percentage from that as well. So we also put ads up on that blog through Google, which I kind of took them down on the new website. I didn't like having all of that. And then I started doing these planners, and then I done the journal that we had spoke about a couple of days ago, the Mind Over Matter journal. Put that on there. So I sell those, make some money from that. And then Trey and I started getting into making soap. So I make homemade goat's milk soap. I try to stay away from any kind of toxic chemicals in it, all natural kind of product. So those are up on our website for sale as well. I'm actually trying to do an inventory clear out right now. So some things are 40, some things are 50% off. It's only on select items. But since we have like this whole outdoory, campy kind of feel with all of our stuff, we also have like shirts and mugs and all that that are kind of influenced by our lifestyle and the kind of content we put out there on the blog and now the vlog. So yeah, so leading me to the vlog was the blog. It's kind of, people are more into, like, people will watch a 10-minute video versus read a 5-minute article kind of thing. So, and for me, it's a little bit easier to just film this, go in there, put the thing together, upload it, and while it's, you know, uploading or exporting, I can, you know, clean the house, do dishes or laundry or whatever. And it's just, with all the stuff that we got going on, it's a little bit easier to just do video. We're already at 12 minutes, so I'm gonna try and hurry up and wrap this up. But yeah, so kind of got a little bit off track. A little bit more about me is I love the outdoors. We are totally trying to make this house self-sufficient kind of thing. That's how we are. That's the lifestyle that we like. We eventually want to have a farm, have all kinds of animals. I love animals. His mom and her boyfriend, they have a farm, so they told us if we want, you know, an animal or something, we could keep it over there, cow or whatever. So that's awesome. We also, his stepbrother and them, they do mountain biking and riding bikes, so we got us some bikes. We haven't been in forever. Hopefully we'll get to go some more this summer. So I think we're maybe making some plans to go with them to go do that. We used to have a side-by-side and went riding all over on that. He sold it. I didn't want him to, but he did. But we would always go riding on that. We have kayaks. We constantly go out and go kayaking. I don't wear makeup. I think I've mentioned that a couple times before. I don't wear makeup. I have no idea how to operate a curling iron. I barely know how to straighten my hair. I don't go to the hairdresser only to get my eyebrows waxed. And that's like maybe every so often. I trim my hair myself. I don't color it. I don't use heat treatments on it. I do have a blog post up over on the blog for that. So we're coming up on 15 minutes. So there is a lot more articles about just why I do some of the things that I do, why we do some other things. Also, I will mention part of our business is Trey does woodworking, and that's more of a him kind of thing. That's not so much more about me. I do manage all of that, but that is some other stuff that we do. Yeah, so that's pretty much kind of me and my journey on to getting to why we have a blog and a vlog and our business and some of the interests that we like and all that. So I did just put up some new product on the blog, so if you just head over there, go to blog merch, and you can see all that. If you're interested in the soaps, just go to Oils Come Naturally and the soaps and such. I'll put all that link down in the bottom. And yeah, so I'll see y'all. Y'all have a good day. Get out in nature, stay natural, and I'll see you in the morning.